My people, today is a day of hope.
Today is the beginning of a new chapter for our country. I stand before you to tell you that no Burkinabé will sleep outside again. We have finished building 50,000 new homes for our poorest families. These homes will be given for free. Yes, free. No one will pay a single coin. I have walked through the villages and the towns. I have seen mothers and children sleeping in the open, under trees, without protection. I have seen fathers who work hard every day but cannot even afford one small room to keep their families safe. This is not the Burkina Faso we want. We cannot call ourselves a free people while so many of our citizens are homeless. This is why we took action. We did not sit and wait. We did not make speeches and forget. We decided to build. And today I am proud to announce that 50,000 houses have been completed for our people. These homes are ready. They will be handed to the people who need them the most, the poor, the elderly, the homeless, the children with no parents, and all those who suffer in silence. Traoré's announcement left the entire crowd in awe. For decades, many poor families in Burkina Faso had no hope of owning a home. But on this day, everything changed. Let me be clear. These homes are not for the rich. They are not for the powerful. They are not for those who already have more than enough. These homes belong to the people who have nothing. They belong to the people who have been forgotten. They belong to you. Some people will ask, why give the houses for free? My answer is simple: a home is not a luxury. A home is a basic human right. Every citizen deserves a roof over their head. Every child deserves a place to sleep safely at night. This is why we did it for free. We will not ask you for 1 coin, 1 franc, or 1 payment. These homes belong to you, the people. I know some will criticize this project. They will say it is too much. They will say we cannot afford it. But I ask them this: how can we call ourselves leaders if our people are sleeping on the streets? How can we build roads, offices, and big projects while mothers and children have nowhere to live? We cannot look away anymore. We must put the people first. The project wasn't just about giving homes, it was about restoring dignity. Traoré's words touched everyone who listened. I am proud of the men and women who work day and night to make this dream a reality. We used our own resources, we saved money, and we stopped the waste and corruption that has stolen from our people for so many years. That money now belongs to the people, and this is how we used it, to build a future for the poor, not for a few rich men. This is only the beginning. These 50,000 houses are just the first step. We will build more. We will keep building until every Burkinabé has a roof over their head. This is our promise. And I want you all to remember one thing: this is your country. These are your homes. They belong to you and your children forever. We will never sell these houses. We will never take them away from the poor. They are not political gifts. They are your right. They are part of building a Burkina Faso where everyone can live with dignity and pride. My people, we are building a country where no one is left behind. Where the poor and weak are not ignored. These homes are not a gift from me, they are a gift from our nation to its people. Together, we will make sure no Burkinabé ever sleeps outside again. Ibrahim Traoré began to explain why the project was important. He spoke directly and simply, saying that many leaders talk about change but do not act. He said people have been hearing promises for years, but their lives have not improved. Too many people were still hungry. Too many people were still homeless. He said this is not leadership. He said that a house is more than just a place to sleep. A house gives dignity. It gives security. It gives families a place to build their lives. Without a home, everything is harder. Children cannot study well when they sleep in the open. Parents cannot work effectively when they worry about where their families will stay. He explained that this was why housing had to be the first priority. He said they could have started with roads, bridges, or big government offices, but he refused to do that. He said there was no point in building fancy projects while thousands of citizens had no place to live. He wanted to build a foundation first, a foundation for the people. Traoré explained that the government used the resources it already had. They did not borrow. They did not depend on others. They looked at the money that was being wasted and stopped it. He said too much money had been going into the wrong hands for too long. Too many people had been stealing from the people and using it for their own luxury. He said that time was over. That money now belonged to the citizens. He said every coin used for the 50,000 houses came from cutting waste and fighting corruption. No single individual was allowed to profit. Contractors were chosen based on trust and efficiency, not politics. He made it clear that if anyone tried to steal from the project, they were removed immediately. This was the only way the homes could be built at this scale without huge costs. Traoré said this project was never about politics. He said he did not care about votes or praise. He only cared about the people. He wanted them to live in dignity. He said leaders must serve the people first. That was his job, and he would not fail. He reminded everyone that owning a home is a basic human right. Too many families in Burkina Faso had never dreamed of it because of poverty. They believed it was only for the rich. But now, that dream was real. He wanted poor children to grow up believing they deserved a safe place to sleep, that they were not less than anyone else. He said that these homes were built to last. They were not cheap shelters that would fall apart. They were strong, clean, and safe. Each house was built in communities where people could support one another. He said no one would be thrown far away from their families or the places they knew. He said the homes were not just buildings but symbols of a new Burkina Faso. A Burkina Faso that cared for its weakest citizens first. A Burkina Faso that used its resources for the common good, not for a small group of elites. Traoré explained that the program was designed carefully. Priority was given to those who had no homes at all. Families with children were at the top of the list. Widows, orphans, and the elderly were included. People living in extreme poverty were identified and helped first. He said the houses could never be sold. No one could use them to make profit. They were given for free and would remain with the families who needed them. If someone abandoned a house, it would be reassigned to another family in need. He said this was to make sure no one could exploit the system. He also said this was not the end of the project. It was only the beginning. He promised that even more houses would be built in the coming years. He said the government would not stop until every Burkinabé had a roof over their head. This was his vision, and he was committed to it. He told the people that this program was proof that Burkina Faso could solve its own problems. He said the country did not need to wait for foreign help. It only needed to use its resources with honesty and discipline. If the country stayed focused, it could feed its people, house its people, and educate its people. He said the youth of Burkina Faso also had a role to play. They must help build and protect the country. They must not allow corruption to return. He said the youth must grow up knowing that leadership is service, not power. He said these houses were a new start for the people who had suffered the most. He wanted them to feel valued again. He wanted them to know they were not forgotten. He wanted children to sleep peacefully at night. He wanted mothers to stop worrying about rain or cold. He ended by saying that building the homes gave him joy because it was the right thing to do. He said he was proud, not because of himself, but because of what the country had achieved together. He said this was how leadership should be, not words, but action. Traoré said if the government could do this, it could do even more. He said the future of Burkina Faso would be built the same way, step by step, always putting the people first. He said this was how the nation would grow strong. Ibrahim Traoré addressed the people directly with a message of hope and responsibility. He said the homes were not just buildings, they represented a new chapter for the country. He told the people that they were not forgotten and that the government would continue to fight for their dignity. He began by telling families who had suffered the most that they were now part of something greater. For many years, they felt abandoned by leaders and the system. He said this was the moment to change that story. He said every family moving into these homes should know that the country values them. He said they matter, and their children matter. Traoré explained that these homes were a promise from the nation to its people. He said this was proof that the government could take care of its citizens if it focused on the right priorities. He said it was time for everyone to believe again, to have faith that Burkina Faso could rise and build a better future. He told the people not to see the homes as charity. He said they were not gifts from him or from any official. They were a right that every Burkinabé deserved. He said no family should feel ashamed for receiving a home. Instead, they should feel proud that their country was strong enough to take care of them. He then asked the people to protect the houses. He said each home was built with the country's resources and hard work. If the houses were damaged or neglected, it would be a loss for everyone. He asked families to care for the houses as if they had built them with their own hands. He said they belonged to them, their children, and the generations after them. Traoré also told the people to stand together as communities. He said the homes were built close to one another for a reason. Neighbors should support each other. They should look out for each other's children, help each other in times of trouble, and live as one family. He said the success of the housing program would depend not only on the government but also on the people. He reminded the people that the program was only the beginning. He said the government planned to build even more houses until everyone in Burkina Faso had a safe place to live. But for that to happen, the country needed peace, unity, and discipline. He said no development could happen if the people were divided or fighting. He urged everyone to work together to protect the nation from corruption. He said the reason these homes were possible was because money was no longer being wasted or stolen. He said if the people allowed corruption to return, the progress would end. He called on citizens to speak up if they saw any wrongdoing. Traoré told the youth that they had a special role to play. He said they should not wait for others to solve problems. They should lead with honesty and hard work. He said the future of the country was in their hands. If they stayed focused, the nation would grow stronger with every generation. He also told families to educate their children to take pride in their country. He said children must grow up knowing that they can build their own future in Burkina Faso. He said the homes they now lived in should inspire them to dream bigger. He warned the people not to sell the homes. He said the houses were not for profit. They were built for the poor and must remain with the poor. If anyone abandoned a home or tried to misuse it, the government would take it back and give it to someone in need. He said this rule was necessary to protect the program. He said the homes must be places of peace. He asked everyone to treat their neighbors with respect and kindness. He said communities must be safe spaces for children to grow up without fear. He said that if people lived with unity, they could overcome any difficulty. Traoré told the people that Burkina Faso was changing for the better. He said the housing project was a sign of that change. He said they could expect more progress in other areas, like education, jobs, and healthcare. He said the same discipline used to build these homes would be used to improve the entire country. He reminded everyone that progress would take time. He said they must be patient but never lose hope. He said change was happening step by step, and it would reach every corner of the country if everyone stayed united. He thanked the workers who built the houses. He said they worked day and night to finish on time. He also thanked the citizens who supported the project and believed in it. He said their trust was what gave the government the strength to succeed. He ended by saying that Burkina Faso could now look to the future with confidence. He said no Burkinabé should ever feel left behind again. He said the country would continue to build and protect its people. He said this was the meaning of true leadership, to serve the people, not oneself. Traoré's message was clear. The housing project was more than just a government program. It was a promise of a better life for everyone, starting with those who needed it most. It was proof that the country could rise above its challenges and build a brighter future. He said if everyone worked together with honesty and unity, Burkina Faso would not only have houses but also strong schools, strong hospitals, and a strong economy. He said the homes were the first building blocks of a new nation. He closed by telling the people that they should never forget this moment. He said the houses were a sign that the country belonged to them. He said they were the heart of Burkina Faso, and the government would always fight for them. He promised that no Burkinabé would ever have to sleep outside again.